everybody. This is Soumya and I'm part of Maersk Global Data and Analytics team. Firstly, welcome to all of you to the Maersk LinkedIn live session. We are here to give you a sneak peek of Maersk and different job offers that we have at Maersk.
Hello everyone, my name is Sunil. I'm an engineering director in innovation, data science and automation. I'm super keen to answer all of your questions that pop up on LinkedIn, so please keep us posted with any of the questions that you have. So now that we've introduced ourselves, Soumya, so maybe you wanted to talk about Maersk a little bit, just to introduce what business we are into and what do we do in our daily lives.
Absolutely. Maersk is a 117 years old organization. We are integrated container logistics company operating across 130 plus countries with about 95,000 employees who are constantly working towards solving for supply chain needs across our customers across various regions.
All right, so now you know what business we are into. Let me give you a short introduction on the technology aspect of Maersk. So we are a global team of engineers, data scientists and operations people spanning across 4 different locations. Specifically in India, we execute out of Pune and Chennai. We also execute out of Copenhagen in Denmark, as well as Maidenhead in UK. Of course, our technologies span across a plethora of technical areas such as full stack, data engineering, data science, again in data science, computer vision, NLP, traditional data science areas such as forecasting, regression, classification, information extraction, information synthesis, etc. So there is a lot of opportunity for each one of you that is watching this show, and I'm pretty sure at the end of this particular show you will be able to get a holistic idea of the areas that we recruit in, and you could be part of us. So without any overdue, let me read out some questions that you're posting on LinkedIn. I think the first question that I have is from Jane, and she's asking what kind of business problems we're working on inside Maersk. That's an interesting question. Do you want to take a stab at it, Soumya?
Sure. Thank you, Jane, firstly for the question. So at Maersk, the magnitude of opportunities to enable technology across the full spectrum of supply chain is immense. We are working towards automating and carving out a seamless journey for our customers. What it means is to enable data across the frictionless journey we're trying to create for our customers while we're simplifying the supply chain needs of our customers. So this entails that we have data and data sciences enabled across multiple touch points, which will help our customers to be able to experience that seamless journey both internally for our agents as well as our customers. And we are doing all of this while we are working towards creating a sustainable and smart world for now and for future.
Soumya, let us see if there are any interesting questions popping up. There are a lot of people asking questions. You want to pick up one from the list?
Yeah, so here's an interesting question about data sciences and the specialization we own at Maersk. Sunil, would you want to shed some light on that?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. So I'd love to speak about data sciences because that's my expert area as such. So there are a plethora of projects that we are doing. Again, the breadth of data sciences is very large, right? So you have multiple areas of specialization. You name the area of specialization, we have work on it, right? For example, intelligent document processing, right? So we have unstructured documents that are received from our customers, and our workflow systems would not be able to process them automatically, right? Because a workflow system is capable of processing only structured data. And that is where we employ a lot of artificial intelligence, specifically natural language processing, information extraction and information retrieval techniques in order to convert the unstructured documents such as invoices into structured data. That way the RPAs or robotic process automation that we have automatically process all these documents. That's one of the use cases that's live in production today, that's saving a lot of man hours for us. Right? And we have a lot of projects on forecasting area, for example. In the pricing data science, we are now optimally predicting what should be the pricing at which we offer to our customers when they come to booking with us. Again, we also employ a lot of operations research, for example, right, which is not a very well known area even among data scientists. So for example, if there is a new product offering that is coming from Maersk, we need to price it fairly and optimally. And we conduct a lot of simulation experiments there in order to come up with the optimal pricing. And we do have a lot of projects that serve our customers. Say for example, when the emails come in, we have employed and deployed intent detection as well as sentiment analysis kind of a model in order to understand what is the mood of our customers. So even before we get to the NPS, we know what our customers feel and know about us. Right? So these are some of the projects that I wanted to touch upon. Of course, for intellectual property reasons, I really don't want to go into the depths, but I hope I have given some problem statements to excite our audience today.
Absolutely, and not to forget those problems that we're solving across the network, across our terminals, which entails a lot more of IoT and different solutioning on visual analytics that we are working on, right? So thank you, Sunil, for that sneak peek.
Absolutely. If I may add, there is end-to-end supply chain management we are focusing on, which essentially means we need to be able to meet the demand-supply needs, which essentially touches upon the network optimization needs that we have, right? And there is a lot of data science and data engineering out there in those areas. And of course, I see a lot of participants are already excited about joining us, and I see a question, very, very interesting question about what type of technologies are you using in order to build data science and data engineering. And of course, Soumya, you have championed a lot of hiring events in Maersk. And I can't see a better person than you to answer this question. So please take it forward.
Thank you, Sunil, for that question. Now, for the technology piece of it, technology, as we all know, is the backbone of for data, right? We are talking about expertise across Spark, Scala, Python, R, predominantly in terms of the languages that we're working on. And beyond this, as we move into ML Ops, we're also looking at multiple frameworks such as TensorFlow Extended. We're talking about Kubeflow, HopsWork, and our few to name over here. Beyond this, we also are looking for expertise and experience around cloud and integration layers and blockchain, of course, and IoT. So there is exciting opportunity for various technologies and various stream of work, and we're looking forward to have most of you join us.
Super, right? So that's a lot of technologies that you have talked about in your answer, but it does not mean that each one of you have to master all of the skills, right? So you pick up the skill that you're interested in, right? So most of the open source technologies you could go master yourself while you're being a generalist on most of the aspects, right? You know the technologies, but master on one. And of course, when you master, you could look up an opportunity with Maersk and you could apply. And we are embracing those masters with open arms. What do you say, Soumya?
Absolutely. I believe we need as many expertise as possible for us to work towards the solving for customer supply chain needs across the full spectrum of supply chain and not really on one end or the other, right? So thank you, Sunil, for that question. So going forward, let's look at what are the other questions that we have. Here's an exciting question by Sam. They're talking about what happens if we have projects which have gone live. Can you shed more light towards that? And what really happens if there are projects which do not go live? Going by the industry success rate, we're talking about only 10% of data sciences project do see light at the end of the tunnel. So would you want to share more of your experience?
Absolutely. An awesome question from Sam. Thank you so much. Talking about data science and the impact that it is providing to the world, right? So yes, data science is a very experimental science, and it's true that an industry benchmark says it's only 10% of the projects that are productionized. But think of yourself like a VC that wants to invest in a list of group of startups, right? So you invest in 100 different startups, potential great startups. However, not all of them materialize at the end, right? And those startups which are unicorns, the 1 or 2 startups that really excel, gets you a lot of revenue, which will actually compensate for all the costs that you have invested in the 100 startups that are out there, right? It's a risk game that you're taking, but a calculated risk. That's the same thing or the same phenomena that happens with data science also. You think there is data in order to extract some value out of, and then you try to get insights from it. You try to do some prescriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and all those kind of data products you try to build. At the end of the day, there could be loss of interest from your customers or from your internal stakeholders down the line after 3 months. Yes, of course, it does happen to us. Fortunately, in Maersk, we've been very, very, very good at driving data science, and our success rates are much above industry benchmark. And I am very proud to announce that at least once in a quarter, we have a product going live from us, which is impacting our business users as such. It doesn't end there, right? Of course, there are some projects which would not see the light, end of the tunnel, and it doesn't see the light. In those cases, what we do is we go back and then look at the other pockets in the organization. Maersk being super large and super different stakeholders in place, our projects always found a place or a house in order to actually found to be useful, right? So in some cases, we have even shared the learnings that we've learned from our experimentation that has helped other groups to take on new experiments and to build over the data products that we've built. And that's how we have gone very, very successful in this organization. And I've been here for 2.5 years. This has been a great ride, I would say. And of course, I want to also touch upon some aspects of intellectual property, specifically with relation to data science, right? It's an experimental science. When you create data products or when you try to build your data science capabilities, you come up with a lot of novel algorithms. You build a new, you build a new package, or you build something new that accommodates your data and that wants to achieve your purpose, which essentially means you could be one of those first guys in the world that have invented something, right? So I'm again proud to announce that this team has produced about 12 patents. The team that I'm part of has provided 12 patents to Maersk in the last 2 years. That's like on an average 6 patents a year. And 2 of our individuals also were awarded Maersk Inventor of the Year for the maximum number of patents filed, so which is a great accomplishment. It's not only contributing to the Maersk intellectual property, it is also helping us to build our own personal brand, and at the same time we are also making sure that every project that is out there is usable in terms of the outcomes. And of course, there is always opportunities to present ourselves in a research conference by writing a research paper or something like that, and that's also a usable outcome of all the research that we do. Of course, all of this is a usable outcome of a data science team, and that is what we have stumbled upon in the last 2 years. So
Absolutely.
That's the long answer for your short question, Soumya.
No, I can share my experience as well over here, Sunil. I believe what we really believe in is how do we solve for customer problems and how do we share our learning across Maersk. This has been an ongoing journey for most of us, and we can talk about the pricing learning that we had in terms of how do we price appropriately, dynamically to our customers, right? How do we really venture into various areas which have been unknown in terms of building those solutions and pioneering this across the industry, right? Because this has been what we've been working towards, and thanks for sharing those details.
Super. Let me see if there are any other questions. All right, I'm going to pick up on this question. So this is a common question all of my friends ask me all the time. So I'm going to pick it up just in the interest or just in my own personal interest, right? Are you hiring, and what kind of roles are available? This is a question from Bindu. I guess she's from India, right? I'll answer it if you don't mind.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Right. Of course, with the organization of our size, there are always opportunities for great people. And we have been on hiring spree from 2021, and we have a lot of roles open. As I speak, our HR team is going to post you the link on LinkedIn chat box, and if you click the link, you will be able to see all the positions that are available across the locations. We being a global team, of course, you name the country, our presence is there, and we have roles open out there, both technical and non-technical, but this session is focused definitely on the technical aspect. So please go ahead and open the link and explore the opportunities that are there. And if you have the mastery on certain skills, we love to have you on board. Please apply. We look forward to receive your applications.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, do feel free to put them in the chat, and we are constantly reviewing that, and we'll get back with answers shortly.
Absolutely. Right, so there is a very interesting question from Dadi here, right? This is a real life experience question we work on almost every month, right? So the question goes on like this. Thank you, Dadi, for this wonderful real life question. When data is not handy for building a model, what would be your next steps? This is exactly what I come to you for, Soumya. So
Right.
I guess it rings a bell in your mind, right?
Absolutely. So we believe in automating most of our data availability as well. Sunil, as you're aware, we're talking about how do we create frameworks for data ingestion and data curation alongside solving problems for our customers, which is a foundational aspect of why we have stood up the data lake at Maersk, right? So constantly and continuously we're talking about automizing a lot of these data engineering capabilities to be able to enable our customers and our internal agents with the right set of data and solving for the different product solutions as we go alongside the business problems and opportunities across supply chain. So as you mentioned, it has been an experience where we know that the data does not exist. We want to then build and orchestrate the data within the data lake to make sure that the models do run, because a model is as good as the data available for testing and training the model. So we strongly believe that this is a continuous and conscious effort from our end to automate this as much as possible with the right set of framework and capabilities to bring in the right data at right time to enable our customers with the right solutions.
That's a wonderful answer, and the key message is the model is as good as the data, right? Sometimes I wonder, Soumya, what would I do without your team, right? So we're just into building models, and you are the ones who are provisioning the data for us. Thank you so much for all the help over the years. All right, cool. And I would like to take another question from Raj. How does the team help build the intellectual property for this organization? Okay, great question. I've already touched base on patents and papers and how does our projects translate to all of them, right? But we do also have something called communities of practice, which you're also a part of, right? So under communities of practice, we also actively contribute to a lot of open source. This is also something which we are giving back to the society as such.
Absolutely.
Right? I guess we have answered a lot of technical questions, Soumya, so we need to look and pick up some questions which are general in nature and that could be engaging and that could be on the minds of our people. What do you say?
Sure, we should. Let's look at different questions that we have from our participants today.
This is a frequently asked question. So both me and Soumya are people leaders, and we encounter this frequently asked question a number of times from our team members and also potential candidates that come to interview with Maersk, right? The question goes, does Maersk provide any on-site opportunities? Multiple people I see have asked this question. So Soumya, you a seasoned people leader, I want you to take this question, please.
Absolutely. So from an opportunity standpoint, as Sunil alluded to earlier, we have global presence across multiple locations, and we are continuously looking for talent across these regions to be able to help our customers with the right solutions. With that, what it means is we do not really talk about on-site, but we're talking about global talent across different regions. We have immense opportunities across various regions, and we're looking forward for great talent to be onboarded across different locations.
Super, right? Just to attribute to that message, I mean, last week I've been in Denmark. I was so happy to see a lot of known faces that have moved to Denmark from India. It was exciting to meet them, and they knew me by name and face, and we had a good time there, right? So I guess Maersk has opportunities everywhere, right?
It does.
If you are the master and if you have the skills, I guess it's just the world out there to grab.
Yes.
Good. Let's see other questions. Oh, there's a question from Priya. Maybe you'd want to.
Here's an exciting question. Now that we've touched upon diversity, global presence, the participants also would want to learn a lot more about the culture, the technology and engineering culture, which thrives at Maersk. So, Sunil, do you want to quickly share your experience?
Yeah, absolutely. I will maybe give a personal story as well here, just to make sure the context is understood really well. And Priya and Josh, both of them have asked this question, so I'm going to address both of them. Of course, they've put the message in a different way, but it all means the same. Cultural perspective, so it's not anything new. We've gone through pandemic. The organization has supported everybody immensely. So they've gone to an extent where they were supporting us on our wellness, both psychologically and physically. Right? There were a number of sessions created, and we even had a hotline where if you are slightly depressed or if you wanted some help on wellness matters, you could always call this hotline and get guidance. And the people leaders are specifically instructed to take care of their teams and ensure that their well-being, the employee well-being is taken care. And unlike many other organizations, our organization takes care of, looks at Gallup engagement survey very, very seriously, and the feedback from employees is considered and it is vetted out at multiple levels, and action plans are made so we address the pain points of our employees. That's a great thing, and that's a change that I've seen coming from other organizations. And of course, we have a lot of learning opportunities, and me being a data scientist, the world is changing every day. Not just data science, data engineering as well, right? There are new tools coming up every day, and each one of us are not relying on what we know, rather we are always inquisitive about learning things, right? So we have platforms out here. I would allow you to talk about that in a couple of minutes. I know you've been a learning champion for us, so I guess the answer will be better if it comes from you. There are new packages coming up, new algorithms, new frameworks. We need to keep on top of all these learnings. And of course, Maersk strongly encourages this learning through various platforms that we have internally. And people leaders have been empowered to use a lot of reward and recognition platforms. It's well supported by the leaders out here. And every time we see good work, we cheer for people. We love to encourage them to go grab the opportunities outside. And we, as people leaders, we see our team successes are our successes, and we are there for them to encourage them. So this is what is the culture of Maersk, and we love it. And I'm pretty sure when you come on board, you will love it too, right? And over to you to talk about learning culture, Soumya.
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for touching upon those key pointers. The pandemic has been tough on most of us, and Maersk has been supportive in order to provide that platform to our teams globally, right? So thanks for touching upon that. On learning, we are talking about, as Sunil was mentioning, we're talking about business priorities changing, ever changing, or continuously evolving, and we are at peak of our transformation in terms of looking at how the processes can evolve further to simplify customers' journey in their supply chain journey. To preempt the need for more of advanced digital skills to be acquired and to help our teams, we have our very own Technology Academy platform, which provides access to various learning platforms as well as curated, customized content to our team members as they would want to upskill themselves towards these latest and greatest technologies.
All right, I have a very interesting question. I would read the question and maybe answer it myself if you allow, Soumya.
Sure.
This question is from Grigo, and he asks how the company handles work-life balance for its employees, right? This is one of the frequently asked questions when I interview people, therefore I was super excited to see that question. Yes, we are a global organization. However, we have a flexi work policy, and for women employees, we have a lot of liberty and we have good parental leave opportunity that is available, and we care for our employees truly, and we accommodate their personal needs as such. And except for very critical business situations, I have not experienced a situation where we had to stretch beyond normal work hours. And our counterparts, the business people that we work with, even though they are located in other countries, they truly understand personal needs of individuals and they respect personal time. And I've seen my leaders, my counterparts being very accommodative about the timings and respecting home and work-life balance, etc. I loved it, and we have benefits too, right? So if just in case there's a person working an on-call, in DevOps kind of a situation, we have a policy where we provide certain benefits to those employees that are working extra hours, etc. So that's the precise answer for this question, and I hope Gregor's question is answered.
Yeah, and not to forget the flexible, as you said, basis individual needs. We ensure that we are ensuring that we get the right support, to give the right support to our individuals and ensure that they are well taken care of. Thanks, Sunil, for that.
Absolutely.
I do see an interesting question here, Sunil, in terms of the net zero ambition that we have across our businesses by 2040. So just to throw some light, as you all are aware, or Maersk has announced that our ambition to go net zero across greenhouse gas emissions is now advanced by a decade. We are now talking about by 2040, we will achieve our ambition for net zero versus 2050. So what are we doing about it? We are working rapidly across the technology and businesses in very close collaboration with our customers and vendors, making us helping our customers while we help ourselves to achieve this ambitious goal.
Super, right? So it's a very futuristic goal, but very ambitious, and at the same time saving the Mother Earth, right? It's going green. I do see there is one question on hiring aspect once again, right? So are you hiring? What type of roles are available? Yes, we are hiring. We are insisting once again, please look at the chat box. Our HR team has posted a link there for you to consume, and this link basically kind of takes you to a place where you could see all the opportunities. And of course, we have roles available across multiple levels, right? Starting with the JL1, which is the lowest level in our organization to start with. You have at an engineer level, and then all the way through vice president, we have several opportunities out there. And of course, we also have opportunities for college grads, right? So people that are actually studying, right? So we have a lot of internship opportunities with us. You could join us and learn while earn while you're learning, right? So the last 1 year or 6 months of your time could be spent with us, really doing meaningful projects, real world projects. And that will gain a lot of experience while you're in college. Both your team and my team have a lot of interns with us, right? Really contributing to majority of projects that we are doing in both data science and data engineering.
Yes, absolutely. Student assistance program is one of the top colleges is what we reach out to for various interns to join us on our journey.
Super. And we have an emphasis on diversity and inclusion. Yes. Of course, who can talk about it more than you, Soumya? Do you want to touch upon diversity?
So as we believe that diversity is an innate part of Maersk, we strongly believe we value different opinions, right? And diversity is at core of what we do, and definitely it's something which we are looking to expand as we hire and onboard global talent.
Absolutely, and we have special drives conducted for women. Yes. And there is always a quest to employ more diversity from all perspectives, right? So if you're one of them, please reach out. We have a lot of openings with us, and of course, if you have great talent, we will definitely look forward to having you as part of the team. All right, I think it's almost like we are left with 1 minute. I think it's good to wrap up the session with a lovely comment. Those were wonderful questions. I really enjoyed talking to all of our participants today. In fact, that brought me back to all the memories that I've gained in the last 2 years. Thank you so much for wonderful questions, audience. Over to you, Soumya.
Thank you everybody for joining us today, and looking forward to most of you joining our journey at Maersk to create a sustainable supply chain ecosystem for now and days to come.
Thank you everyone.
Thank you, everybody.